Unlock your dream property with Meeks Realty Group, where Rich the Realtor makes real estate dreams a reality. Whether it's residential or commercial, we've got Charleston to Huntington covered. Your key to exceptional real estate experiences start here. Meeks Realty Group. Contact us at meeks.us.
The views and opinions expressed on this program do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of 580 WCHS, its employees, or WVRC Media. From the studios of WVRC Media, the country, the United States of America, the state, West Virginia, the city, Charleston. This is the Dave Allen Show on 580 Live. And your host.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
He's kind of a big deal.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum.
Dave Allen.
And a good Monday morning to you. Happy President's Day. Senior producer Ryan Nicholson across the hall this morning. Bigly, Piggly, Wiggly hotline 304-345-5858. Tony Taylor text 304-935-5008. We do the show from the Par-Mar Store studio. If there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live presented by Thornhill Auto Group, including Thornhill Ford. Find the best in presidential savings all month long. Visit thornhillford.net and on the road to total savings, US 119 in Chapmanville. Phone calls to the show with service of Bigly, Piggly, Wiggly, Spring Street. Texting services provided by West Virginia's finest men's store, Tony the Tailor, Virginia Street, Charleston. Visit bestmastertailor.com. It is President's Day, so by all means, go out and do something good in the name of Millard Fillmore today. What a weekend it was. Heavy rain, snow, flooding, water mains in downtown Charleston. Now we get ready for another winter storm, but we got to get through this one first. And I think the weather people, with all due respect, might have got this one a little bit wrong this morning because it's a lot worse in Charleston now than what it was like 2 hours ago. And so if you are traveling, please use caution. Roads are slick, even the interstates, downtown streets, and it's still pouring right now in downtown Charleston. So that's how that goes. So some good news. It is Entrepreneurship Week. Easy for me to say in West Virginia. Secretary of State Kris Warner is going to join us to talk about that a little bit later on. Plus, last week we spent some little time talking about this on the show. It has to do with the Trump administration. The Trump administration banned, at least from one event, members of the Associated Press because they would not go along with calling the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America. Well, one guy who knows a lot about it is in the media and serves as an agent of sorts to a lot of folks in the media, and my quasi-agent as well, Burke Allen of Allen Media Strategies. He's in the nation's capital. He's going to join us to talk about that a little bit later on. Plus, again, some good news. I'm thinking about the beach. The Marshall Quarterback Club of Charleston is getting ready for their beach party coming up March 1st at Embassy Suites. Robert Stonestreet from the organization is going to join us to talk about that. Let's go now, though, to Mayor Amy Schuler Goodwin. Mayor, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Dave.
Thank you for being here. And I won't keep you on here long because I know you're very, very busy. First of all, I know your thoughts and prayers are with everyone in southern West Virginia this morning. We had some flooding in and around the Charleston area. Of course, the Kanawha River had Riverfront Park, Magic Island, flooding reported as well in North Charleston. Before we get to that, tell us what was up with the Gulf of Charleston that developed yesterday afternoon.
Yeah, right. Well, let me echo your thoughts and prayers as well, and I mean it. I mean, having been in southern West Virginia during some of our most devastating floods, just like you, I worked underneath the Gold Dome for a long period of my career and with Bob Wise and Governor Wise and Governor Tomlin. So the 2021, 2001, 2003, 2016, some of the most devastating floods that we have seen. It's hard. It's hard to look back at those photos. It's hard to look to see what our neighbors are doing now. And as a matter of fact, we sent out a crew. I don't know if most folks know this, but we have an exceptionally, and good for us, swiftwater rescue teams. We sent 8 of our swiftwater rescue folks to Princeton to rescue 14 folks from a mobile home trailer park neighborhood there on Saturday. And so with Chief Nicholson there and a lot of our folks, they just did an amazing job. So, our eyes are on them, and certainly we have been in contact to see what can we do. So that's first and foremost and most important. When you have life issues, those are always priority. So Capitol Street, let me get back to Capitol Street, and then I'll talk about our local issues, some of our local issues. But Capitol Street yesterday, there was what we believe is to be a water line burst, West Virginia American Water. That line burst on Capitol, like Capitol and Washington. Still don't know why it burst, but it was, we believe, a 12-inch water main. So that's a lot of water, Dave. And it slopes back downwards towards Capitol. So it put more water out than the drains could take. So, with the snow, Mother Nature, she's playing with us, as you said. She's playing with us again this morning. So cleaning of the sidewalks and the streets, yes, it is important for us to do that. But we have crews out salting and scraping right now. Yesterday we had 27 crew members out in different parts of the city, just dealing, for everything from backhoes to our gradles. Those are those big pieces of equipment, Dave, that you see. If people don't know, with those big arms, trying to capture as much debris and getting them out of streams and creeks. But we'll get to Capitol Street tonight. We have 2 folks that are coming in. So, when you get home tonight, stay home. We'd like to get some of this done. Hopefully the snow will be melted off. So you'll see and hear those folks doing that tonight. And our storm debris will continue the cleanup. We had some issues on Hannah Drive and Sugar Creek, Grant, 6th Avenue, Vine, Elm, places in which we normally get flooding, and some power outages, not as massive, again, as our neighboring friends. But, it is when my son Joseph was born on the first day of spring in March. I cannot wait for the first day of spring to come. Spring does bring rain, though. I will remind everyone. But it has been a tough year. And I want to say thank you to a couple of folks. Number one, the media, for keeping everybody alert and factually giving us facts, because that's what we want. Number two, for the folks who are working these very long and, by the way, really dangerous jobs. It's not just our Swiftwater rescue team. I have been out many a day in a salt truck teetering on a hillside. It's not pleasant, Dave. It's not. It's not pleasant. And so they're doing it. They do it with gusto. They take pride in their jobs. And I promise you, they're working as hard and as fast as they possibly can. So I want to do that. And then also to the folks who want to help and want to give. I've already received so many calls and texts this morning. What do we do to help our friends? We're on standby with our teams and our equipment. Obviously, we're ready to jump in and help. But if you'd like to jump in and help, I always tell people, my good friend and your good friend, Dave, Margaret O'Neill with United Way, boy, you can't go wrong helping them and giving to them, or, of course, Red Cross of West Virginia, Dave.
All right. So, and you're absolutely right about that. We're talking to Mayor Amy Goodwin. What about and I know the investigation, or, you're looking into the reason for the water main break in Charleston yesterday. We all saw that video. County Commissioner Ben Salango, has kind of gone viral with his video that he did yesterday. I shared it on my page as well, as did like 10,000 other people. What about damages to the businesses that were affected by that? Is it, do we know what kind of damages that those businesses incurred, if any?
Yeah, I think it's too early to tell. I mean, we're getting some reports in, as you would imagine, none at all, and some in the basements, and some who have reached their front doorstep. So those assessments are ongoing, and certainly we're going to be keeping a close eye on that as well, and going to be doing a full debrief and an assessment of what happened, how we can make sure that things like this don't happen again, and certainly our cooperation as well with our utilities. I will say this about our guys and gals who work for the city. We sprung into action and certainly did a great job communicating and being there for everyone, which is our job. You pay us to do that, to be there as quickly and as safely as we possibly can. But those assessments will be ongoing.
All right, Mayor. Appreciate it. Get back after it. Go get a shovel, and we'll talk again soon. Thanks a lot.
Dave, thank you. Appreciate y'all.
Charleston Mayor Amy Goodwin. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live is brought to you part by Bridge Valley. Their Win Academy can provide free college credit in nursing and advanced manufacturing to students while they're still in high school. Visit bridgevalley.edu/Win Academy for more information. All right. Let's have a little good news here for a moment. A big event is going to be happening at Embassy Suites in Charleston Saturday night, March 1st. And with the winter we've had, who couldn't use a beach party? I know I could. The Marshall Quarterback Club of Charleston, full disclosure, I'm a member of that fine organization. The club is going to present a beach party, an indoor event at Embassy Suites on March 1st. Robert Stonestreet is the president of the organization. He joins us now. And oh, my goodness, look who's also here. It's Steve Animal. It's Steve Animal from 98.7 The Mountain. Steve and I have been chosen to be MCs for this event. Good morning to you, Robert.
Good morning.
And thank you for coming in. And good morning, Stephen.
Good morning. So glad to be here.
I don't know I don't know what's wrong with him.
I'm questioning my decision to have you guys DJ this event.
I was going to say, now we're not DJing. You have a DJ. We're MCing.
Yes.
There's a big difference. That's okay.
There's a big price difference.
Big price difference. Pretty much you give us food and beer and we're there. That's pretty much all you have to do for us. So explain what the Marshall Quarterback Club of Charleston is, Robert.
Sure. We're a booster club for the Big Green Scholarship Foundation, and we raise money for the athletic programs at Marshall. Primarily the football program, since we're called the Quarterback Club. So this is one of our annual events. We, in the past, have done a Valentine's-themed event for several years, but we decided this year we're going to shake it up a little bit and have a beach party to help welcome our new head coach, Tony Gibson, and his staff to Huntington.
And tickets are available for individuals or couples, or you want to buy a table for your business. You can do all that, right?
Yes, there are table sponsorships available. They start at $2,000. That gives you 10 seats, complimentary beer and wine, which means all you can stomach for the evening. And individual tickets are available for $175 each.
And as you said, Marshall football coach Tony Gibson making a triumphant return to the Mountain State. He's going to be there. It's going to be a great night.
Yes. Boone County native Tony Gibson. Mm-hmm. We're very excited to have him here. He'll be at the event, as will his senior staff.
And Animal and I will be serving as the MC. What kind of fun can we get into?
Well, since they canceled the Valentine's Day, my idea was to have, Valentine's Day Massacre. Nobody liked that, so we're doing a beach party. I mean, I get it, which is fine.
No Speedos, Steve. No Speedos.
Oh, damn it, man.
No Speedos. But, by the fact that it's going to be a beach party, Robert, it means, people like to get all dressed up. This time they don't have to. Throw on your Hawaiian shirt and go.
It is beach attire, whatever that means to you.
Not that kind of beach, Steve.
Oh.
And where can people get tickets and learn more about the event? I know I've got an up post on my social media, but where's the best place to get tickets or to learn more?
The Marshall Quarterback Club has a Facebook page. You can go there, or you can go to herdzone.com under tickets. There's special events, and you can buy your tickets online there or call the Big Green.
And as far as, you're going to have drink specials, you're going to have beach, everything's beach themed, right?
Everything is beach themed. Be a tropical menu. We're going to have special boat drinks that come with your tickets. And we'll have Will Ulmer, former Marshall offensive lineman, will be there to play the guitar for the crowd, as well as a professional DJ.
Not us, a professional DJ.
I thought he was going to tackle somebody in the crowd. We can pay for that.
And there's a lot of excitement surrounding the Marshall football team this year.
There is.
There are a lot of new faces there. And again, the return of a West Virginia guy to coach.
Yeah, we're the recruiting class. There's 61 new players coming in, high ranked, number 2 ranked by rivals, and several West Virginia natives. Coy Fagan, the quarterback from Martinsburg, he is one of the signees for Marshall University, and some other local players as well.
All right. Now, again, where can people get more information? And the date is March 1st, Saturday night at Embassy Suites.
Night,
live. Come hang out with me and Steve, if nothing else, right?
Yes. Go to herdzone.com to get your tickets.
All right. And sponsorships are available. So, again, we've got businesses that listen to this show, and they're thinking, I'd like to do something nice for my employees, especially with the winter we've had.
Yes.
Get them out of the house and go let them party a little bit at Embassy Suites with a beach theme. So, and they can just go to that website or that, to find out more information about sponsorships too, right?
Yes. And want to do another shout out to Astorg Auto, who is our title sponsor, been a title sponsor for several years. We very much appreciate their support.
All right. And Steve, they're going to crank us up and turn us loose, man.
Raw. Bring on the babes and the beer.
Really not a good idea, Robert. This was not a good idea.
I don't know why you guys invited me.
It's going to be a good time.
Yeah, it's always a good
Security.
time. Security. All right, Steve Animal, Robert Stonestreet, I appreciate you being here, man. We'll talk about it more as we get a little bit closer. It's just a couple weeks away, though. Actually,
it's less than 2 weeks.
Less than 2 weeks away. At Embassy Suites, March 1st, the big beach party for the Marshall Quarterback Club at Charleston. Robert, Steve, always a pleasure to have you both here, man. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Dave. Very
much.
The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you part by Meeks Realty Group. You could unlock your dream property. Rich the Realtor makes real estate dreams a reality, whether it's residential or commercial. Charleston to Huntington, they get you covered. Meeks, your journey home begins with them. Contact Rich the Realtor, 304-932-7488, or email rklein, Klein with a K, at meeksrealtygroup.com. We're going to take a break. Back after this on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Brought to you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses care for your family.
No matter where you are never far from a Parmar store. From gas to groceries and everything else you need, your local Parmar store has it. Sign up for the Parmar Rewards Card and download the Parmar Stores app for even more savings. With well over 230 stores in 6 states, you are never far from Parmar. Visit parmarstores.com and follow them on your favorite social media app. If there's not a Parmar store near you now, there will be soon.
Have you ever seen something you can't explain? Have you ever heard a spooky sound at night or witnessed a strange light in the sky? Then you may find the answers on Weird Darkness. Hosted by Darren Millar, Weird Darkness provides insight into the strangest of topics. Conspiracy, crime, the paranormal, the supernatural. Nothing is too strange for Weird Darkness. Welcome, weirdos. Sunday nights at 11 on 580 WCHS.
The Husson's February special is a heart-shaped pizza. Show your love. Order your 14-inch one-topping heart-shaped pizza anytime in February for just $14.99. Visit your nearest Husson's for dine-in, pickup, or delivery. Order now at HussonsPizza.com.
Injured? Call Morgan & Morgan. We'll always be here for the people, not the powerful. We'll always be here for you.
Office 222 Capitol Street, Charleston. Cases will be handled by West Virginia licensed attorneys. The attorney in this ad is not licensed in West Virginia. ForThePeople.com.
It's 304-935-5008. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you part by Husson's Pizza. It is heart-shaped pizza time all month long. Order your 14-inch, one-topping heart-shaped pizza anytime this month, only $14. Dine in, carry out, or delivery. Get your nearest Husson's at HussonsPizza.com. Text says, the reason the water main broke is because the rates aren't high enough. Duh, says the texter. Righty then. So, yeah, and another text said, are you going to talk about the whole thing with Spruce Knob and Donald Trump? Yeah, I'm going to mention something briefly about it. That's all I'll say about that. So last week, you heard me talking about this. You all know by now that President Trump wants the Gulf of Mexico to be known as the Gulf of America. The Associated Press, which is a nonpartisan, basically a collective of several news agencies, have said they will continue to refer to it as the Gulf of Mexico. This White House, though, angered by this, has banned the Associated Press, or AP as we know it, from at least one White House event that I'm aware of, maybe more. And it sets up, in my eyes, a dangerous precedent when you start banning news organizations, again, legitimate news organizations, because you don't like what they are printing or the way that they choose to cover a story. Burke Allen of Allen Media Strategies, a media company, obviously, happens to dabble in a lot of other things, like advising certain radio talk show hosts in Charleston, West Virginia. But Burke has seen this happen firsthand, and he's someone whose company represents a lot of authors, public speakers, etc., from both sides, all sides of the political spectrum. And he joins us now from his office in the D.C. Metroplex. Burke, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Hey, good morning. Before we talk about the Associated Press, look, my heart just goes out to the folks in Charleston after the water main break, but really for the folks in southern West Virginia and eastern Kentucky. And I know you got a lot of listeners down that way, so thinking about all those folks after that flooding over the weekend.
Yeah, our necks of the woods, our collective, because you're from that way too. You know, Logan, particularly Mingo County, Wyoming County, McDowell County. Those places just got absolutely hammered. And TJ and Dave are going to get into more of that coming up next next hour on Talkline. Sure. So Burke, most people know you, longtime radio fixture in Charleston, Huntington, radio markets, also other major cities around the country. You serve as manager and agent for some of West Virginia's best known and loved entertainers, from Landau to Homer Hickam to Dream of Denver and others. But you also serve, and a lot of people may not know this, and manage and serve as a booking agent for a lot of other folks, from political writers and speakers to military folks, et cetera. Many sorts of them from different political ideologies. And as someone who resides in the nation's capital, you've seen a lot of what we're talking about firsthand when that term fake news or fake media is thrown out there. What do you make of all this?
Well, so like the old, and I'll date myself, the old Dragnet reference, just the facts, ma'am. So what I'm going to talk to you about today has zero political spin. And I think that there's a lot of misconception about what the Associated Press really does and what it is. You mentioned it's a collective. So the Associated Press is a nonprofit, and they share information with newspapers, television stations, radio stations, not only in the U.S., but all over the world. And if you look at what's called a media bias chart, which is something that folks in our industry look at on the regular, the Associated Press is right there in the middle. They don't lean to the left and they don't lean to the right. And the new administration got bent out of shape about the Gulf of Mexico thing being renamed the Gulf of America. Well, the Associated Press has customers, has members of that collective from all over the world, not just in the U.S. And so what they put in their notes, in their style guide for reporters and journalists and TV and radio folks all over the country is not, it's got to be the Gulf of Mexico. It says it's the Gulf of Mexico, and President Trump has also renamed it the Gulf of America. So they put that in there primarily because they have so many folks that utilize the service from outside the United States of America.
So, and I get that, but and I know that, as I said, you're somebody that represents people of all political ideologies. That's why particularly I wanted to have you on the show, somebody who's not right or somebody that's not left. You have them from all sides. But as a media guy, or maybe just as an outsider, possibly looking in, you're not an outsider, but let's just say for instance, you are. What is the end game here? I mean, are reporters only going to be permitted access to this White House if they go along with whatever the president says?
Well, it's impossible to know what's inside the heads of the president and the folks that advise him. But I will tell you that, within the media landscape here in Washington, D.C., that, words like absurd ban against the Associated Press are being thrown around an awful lot. And even within the conservative media, there are very few folks that are standing up and defending the White House's decision. I saw a piece that was favorable to them in the National Review, which is a conservative website. But even in that opinion piece, they talked about this being a bullying tactic and an attack on the First Amendment. So it is pretty frowned upon. And here's one of the reasons why, Dave. So they have what's called a White House pool reporter whenever there's not enough space or for logistical reasons you can't get a whole lot of people in to cover something. And the Associated Press pool reporter has been around since the Garfield administration in the 1880s. And they distribute information out to the other hundreds or sometimes thousands of media outlets. And the reason that the Associated Press ought to be in there is because they are very much down the middle. They're very centrist. So when they lose that seat, it's a slippery slope.
Agree. We're talking to Burke Allen of Allen Media Strategies for Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you in part by Pinnacle Consultants. Poor indoor air quality can cause a variety of health issues. Pinnacle offers specialized indoor air quality services for residential, commercial, and industrial type settings. Visit pinnaclecorp.net because what you don't know can hurt you. Let me be clear on this too, Burke. I'm 100% against anyone stifling free speech, no matter what they believe. And when certain platforms, and I'll go to this, when certain platforms didn't want to allow different thoughts or beliefs on, let's say, COVID, let's go back to 2020, 2021, I was against that too. And so I'm saying that to say this isn't exclusive to the Trump White House. It could just as easily happen with a Democrat in the White House, and it would be just as dangerous then too.
Well, yeah, and there are cases where the Biden administration barred reporters from participating in things. I remember in particular one reporter that was barred from a Health and Human Services call because they asked a question of the HHS secretary that they didn't like, and that was the last time they were allowed to ask a question on the call. The difference there, again, is that was an opinion-based, in that case, conservative journalist, and so somebody took a swipe at them and barred them from the call. When you bar the Associated Press, then you're barring a very centrist voice. And I don't like any of them being barred. There are logistical reasons where you can only allow so many people in the room. You did mention one thing that you said, hey, I don't know what else has happened. Well, as it is with this White House, they're moving fast. And the next thing that has happened is they've now barred the Associated Press reporter and photographer from Air Force One as well as from the White House. And this has gone on now for almost a week. So this is the fight continues here, and I can't think of, to use the old phrase, a better hill to die on for the Associated Press than this one.
So, as someone, Burke, who frequently books authors and speakers on shows like this, or on book tours or whatever, how concerned are you about this for some of your clients?
Well, you make a great point, right? And so we do touch base meetings every morning in our company at 10:30. And as you mentioned, we're based here in D.C., but I'm a West Virginia boy at heart, and we work with folks from West Virginia and all over the country. And when you talk about authors, what that really means is subject matter experts, right? So, for example, I represent a retired Marine Corps colonel who was an attack helicopter pilot. And he was all over the media a couple of weeks ago when we had that horrible helicopter plane crash over Reagan National here in D.C. Well, Colonel Dunn is available to do media interviews and did do media interviews on very conservative outlets and also on CNN. And so is it concerning? It's absolutely concerning all the way around whenever you stifle voices that have legit information. Because, when Colonel Dunn was on the air, it was not about the left or the right. It wasn't about the politics. It was about what really happened and what could have happened from a very experienced helicopter pilot who had flown in that zone. So, yeah, I think this could be a real issue, and it's just one of those things we've all got to watch closely and push back against. There's some talk, Dave, that the Associated Press is an antiquated institution. That's a talking point that I've seen thrown out there, that anybody with a cell phone, and video streaming can get information. But as you know, that information can be really slanted if no one's paying attention. And in the Associated Press, it's part of their credo to keep it in the middle.
Yeah, I mean, this would be different, in my opinion. I wouldn't be a fan of it, but it would be much different if this were CNN that they were, or a Fox News for that matter, because those are obviously organizations with a slant. I mean, Fox News has admitted that, MSNBC, whatever. I wouldn't be in favor of it, but I would almost understand it a little bit more. The Associated Press is far, far from that.
That's right. And, when you hear swipes that are made at the media, and
don't get me started.
I've lit a fire under him. The mainstream media, the Associated Press supplies information to local and regional outlets. And, you can't, for example, there in the Charleston Mayor, you can't throw someone like Amanda Barron under the bus, who's a very down-the-middle reporter, and throw her in with an opinion host on Fox News or MSNBC or any of those. It's a whole different thing. And the Associated Press not only supplies information to those local and regional outlets, but they also accept information. So someone in your shop like Kris Lawrence has filed many stories the Associated Press has used to get what's happening in Charleston, West Virginia, and the state of West Virginia out to the rest of the country.
All right. Interesting stuff, Burke. What's the weather like in D.C.? Because it was supposed to stop snowing in Charleston last night. It didn't get the memo, and it's still pouring, and the roads are horrible, and so on and so forth. Plus, we got another snowstorm coming in Wednesday. What's it like in D.C. right now?
It's going to hit you guys before it hits us. We had the big windstorm here, and it knocked a lot of power out in and around D.C. Some of the folks in my office that are over in Annapolis, Maryland, were without power last night, without internet today. And when you're in the media business, having no internet makes it tough.
It's kind of tough. All right, Burke, stay safe. We'll talk soon, man. Thanks a lot.
Hey, thanks for having me on, and God bless all the folks in the great state of West Virginia.
All right, thank you very much. Burke Allen of Allen Media Strategies. Bigly, Piggly, Wiggly, hotline 304-345-5858. Tony Vitaylor, text 304-935-5008. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live is brought to you part by Snap Fitness. Snap offers a wide array of professional wellness services, including customized personal training, licensed recovery experts, and a staff of dietitians. 5 convenient locations: Charleston, Hurricane, Winfield, Barbersville, and Milton. Visit snapfitness.com for details. We'll take a break. West Virginia Secretary of State Kris Warner coming up next. Back after this on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Brought to you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses have been creating jobs in West Virginia since 1997.
What if your high school junior or senior could graduate with a year of college already done? At Win Academy, they can. Students earn free college credits in nursing or advanced manufacturing while finishing high school, saving time and thousands in tuition. Spots are filling fast. Apply by March 4th at bridgevalley.edu/Win Academy. Win Academy, a year of college while in high school.
Thank you to our Hurricane High School broadcast boosters: Parmar Stores, Peyton Law Firm, Putnam County Bank, Vital Flow, Rivers Health, Putnam County CVB, and Generations Physical Therapy.
Start your weekend journey Saturday mornings at 7 on 580 WCHS with West Virginia Outdoors, hosted by Chris Lawrence. Next, enjoy the melodies and stories of Sounds Good to Me with Aristotle Jones. Then expand your horizons with ABC Perspective, followed by the Tech Insights from Kim Commandel at 10. In the afternoon, travel the globe with Rudy Maxa and avoid costly home mistakes with The Money Pit. Saturday evenings delve into science fantastic. It's a day of discovery only on 580 WCHS.
22 minutes away from 10 in the heart of West Virginia, there exists a profound force that goes beyond the realm of sports, transcending limitations. It's fostering a sense of belonging. Special Olympics, a remarkable initiative showcasing the latest episode of West Virginia Enriched in collaboration with Huntington, stands as a testament to the power of determination, unity, and unwavering support. Check out a video highlighting the Special Olympics, facebook.com/580WCHS. Bigly, Piggly, Wiggly, hotline 304-345-5858. Tony Vitaylor, text 304-935-5008. This week is Entrepreneurship Week in West Virginia and throughout the nation. The new Secretary of State is Kris Warner, Secretary of State's office, of course, the Chief Business Officer of the state. Secretary Warner joins us now. Good morning. Welcome to the show, sir.
Hey, good morning, Dave. Thanks for having me on this morning.
It is National Entrepreneurship Week. What's this all about, Secretary?
You know, this is something that Congress chartered about 20 years ago. Actually, it was, I think, 2006. And it's designed to promote core values of education and collaboration with entrepreneurs, and then among the network of stakeholders that support entrepreneurs. And, you know, I would just point out for our listeners and remind them, you know, I claim to have been an entrepreneur once upon a time. And, you know, it's a little bit different than being a businessman. An entrepreneur is one that risks their own money, and that's important. And they need a network to support them, and that's what National Entrepreneurship Week is all about.
And Secretary, when most people think of the Secretary of State's office, they think about elections and voter registrations and things of that nature. But the office pretty much handles everything related to businesses.
Yeah, you know, of our roughly 50 employees, 41 of the office staff are focused on business. You only really have 6 or 7 that are dedicated to elections.
And
I've got to tell you this.
Yeah,
go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Go ahead, sir.
I was just getting ready to say, you know, being there in the Capitol this last week, you know, I got a chance to go, you know, introduce myself to our 30 new legislators. And they were really, they're really good and smart legislators. By the way, I didn't hear one of them mention anything about Spruce Knob or Trump Mountain or anything of the sort. And they were anxious to hear about, we have a young entrepreneurs program for those 30 and under. And we also have a Veterans Boots to Business program. But both of those programs are set up to make sure that there's no registration fee if you want to start a new business, and no annual fees for the first 4 years. And again, on the veteran side of the shop, as you well know, you used to run that shop for the Secretary of State's office. That is, for veterans and their spouses and active duty members and their spouses if they want to start a new business. But we have some really good new smart legislators that are very engaged with what we're doing on the business side of things. Now, we hope to get them involved on the election side soon with some bills we're encouraging them to sponsor. But right now, it's all about entrepreneurs this week and focusing on that effort.
Talk about the Business One-Stop Center in Charleston. It's moved. It's number one. It's changed locations over the last couple of years. It used to be on Washington Street, down next to Tricky Fish, is the way I used to tell people how to find it. But now it's moved a little bit. Talk about the One-Stop Business Center here in Charleston.
That the location now is at 13 Canal Boulevard West. I call it the Channel 13 building. They're right next to the intersection of the interstate on the west side. But that was the first 4-agency, single location business and licensing center in the nation, which includes the tax department, the Division of Labor, and the West Virginia Small Business Development Center. And then the Secretary of State's office is the 4th agency. Really proud of what those guys are doing there. Sarah runs that shop right now. And just last week, we had a gentleman come into the Secretary of State's office in the state capitol, very frustrated. He had been tossed around 3 or 4 times at the city and county level and was told he needed to have a license to operate. He was running a DJ business. We were able to provide him a map, getting down to the West Virginia One-Stop Business Center, and it was reported back that he was walking out the door 22 minutes later with a business license ready to go and had done everything he needed to do to register with the state of West Virginia. So we're very proud of being able to get people in and out the door very quickly and on their way and ready to do business in West Virginia. And you're going to have an open house, I understand. I guess that's weather permitting at this point, but hopefully you're going to have an open house on Wednesday, right? Yeah, it is. It sounds like it might be the same time that the snow is scheduled, but 3 to 5 p.m. We are having an open house. They've done some renovations there. The building owner has done renovations for us to fit our specific office, and we're going to do a ribbon cutting, even though we've been set up there and we have hubs in Clarksburg and Martinsburg. We're going to celebrate and have an open house for the anniversary of the West Virginia One-Stop Business Center. All right. Well, happy Entrepreneurship Week, sir. We'll talk again soon. I appreciate you being here, man. Thanks a lot. Hey, let me mention one last thing. There's a West Virginia Entrepreneurs Conference. It's coming up April 29th at Shepherd University. And folks can find more information on that online. All right. Appreciate it, Secretary Warner. We'll talk soon. Thanks a lot. Hey, thanks again. See you. Thanks a lot. 15 minutes away from 10. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you part by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Biggly, Piggly, Wiggly, hotline 304-345-5858. Tony Vitello, text 304-935-5008. Text says, I get the emails on new businesses open each month, but there isn't the other side sent out how many closed in the month. Why? I'll take a stab at that, because sometimes if you're going to open up a business, it is a specific process that you have to go through, not necessarily for closing a business. Some people just cease operations and that's it.
Some people file bankruptcy. Some people, some people will, even though they go out of business, will keep their business license active. And as long as you pay the fee, again, something I know a little bit about, as long as you pay the fee to the state through the Secretary of State's office, you can keep that business license open. So it would be very difficult for a state agency to report how many businesses were closed because there's so many different ways to go about it. Again, some people just say, hey, I'm done. They walk out and you never know. You never know about it. And others do go through the whole process of dissolving a corporation. And others just say, well, I'm going to close my physical shop, but I'm going to pay the money to be able to keep the business license. So hope that helps. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, presented in part by your hometown baseball team, the Charleston Dirty Birds. Great season of Dirty Birds baseball, and I, for one, can't wait. Over at Go-Mart Ballpark. Tuesdays, of course, $2 Tuesdays with $2 tickets, popcorn, hot dog, sodas, and more. Wednesdays, bring your dogs to the park for a Woof Wednesday. Thursdays are Thirsty Thursdays, $1 beers and water. Fridays are Freebie Fridays with free giveaways. There's fireworks after the game on Saturdays, and Sundays are family fun days. Kids 12 and under get in for free. For more, visit dirtybirdsbaseball.com. Text says, welp, we got storms again. Good thing we have alerts from NOAA. That is until Trump and Doge take their chainsaws to the Department of Commerce. Who needs all that science stuff anyway, says a texter. This text says, Dave, I noticed that since KJP and the White House banned journalist Simon Ateba 3 years ago for his gall to actually ask her questions, that was not and still not a report of that happening. Do your research on it. Here you go. He commented on the AP stuff several days ago. Okay, I will take a look at that. All right, so this whole thing with the renaming of Spruce Knob or whatever foolishness came out on Friday, and I thought it was interesting to hear Secretary Warner say at the Capitol that no one there was talking about it. I guess the story hit around midday, and it sets the Facebook and X worlds ablaze. And I said it now, and I will say it again. And by the way, I did a little video about it yesterday. You can see that, cheap plug, on Dave Allen Radio on Facebook or at Dave870 on X. In my opinion, it was never really meant to be taken seriously. But yet, people lost their collective minds over it. First of all, it was a resolution. It was not a bill. And it's not going to see the light of day. But, hang with me here, it did exactly what it was intended to do, and that was to excite the masses, which it did. The best thing, the single best thing that you can do in situations like this is simply ignore it for just what it is. But that's not what happened. I was in the office upstairs, 11:30. Someone sent me the story. It actually wasn't a story yet. It was actually just they sent me a copy, if you will, electronically on my phone of the bill. And then, of course, you go to social media and everybody, it was all the talk until the flooding hit, which, you know, again, our thoughts and prayers go with all those folks. But on Friday night into midday Saturday, and it's still being floated around out there a little bit, it got everybody all in a tizzy about this thing, which is exactly what the people wanted that put it out there, because it did one of two things. Let's look at an A and B thing here. A, it pandered to the base that the people that just absolutely love Donald Trump and worship Donald Trump. Now, again, I have said just because you voted for Donald Trump doesn't mean you necessarily worship the guy, but a lot of people do. Or it made a whole lot of Trump haters really, really angry. That was, in my opinion, the design. That's what was behind this whole thing, was to A, stoke the fires, the pandering to the base, and B, to piss off Trump haters, for lack of a better term. And it worked. And it worked in both senses. So again, I saw it, and I, as a responsible member of the media, I did do a little something on it. But again, and we've seen this with the legislatures, and it goes on in other states as well. I know people pointed out a similar thing that happened in Ohio. Rest assured, West Virginia's highest point, Spruce Knob, is not going to be called Trump Mountain. It's simply not going to happen. So just calm down. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you in part by Live Healthy, West Virginia, presented by WVU Medicine. Live Healthy tackles pressing health issues, heart disease, diabetes, Alzheimer's, and RSV. It's a podcast offering insights into medical breakthroughs and preventative care, featuring WVU Medicine's expert physicians, aimed at fostering healthier lifestyles in and beyond West Virginia. It is a great resource. Check out the latest episodes, WVMetronews.com, under the podcast menu, and start your journey towards better health today. Bigly Piggly Wiggly hotline 304-345-5858. Tony the Taylor text 304-935-5008. You can follow me, Dave Allen Radio, on Facebook, or at Dave870 on X. We'll take a break. Back after this on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Brought to you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses are small businesses with big impact, including Generations Physical Therapy and Snap Fitness.
Banking is not just about numbers. It's about people. Are you connected? Without a community bank, your financial journey might feel lonely. And who will you turn to when life gets complicated? From checking accounts to loans, Poca Valley Bank has you covered. We are here to support you with personalized service and genuine care across our 8 locations. Poca Valley Bank, your community bank where relationships matter. Visit PocaValleyBank.com for more information. Equal housing lender. Member FDIC.
Jarrett Construction has celebrated its 25th year in business, proudly serving the West Virginia community. They extend heartfelt thanks to their clients for their trust and support over the years. From schools and hospitals to car dealerships and apartments, Jarrett Construction has been dedicated to building quality projects that make a difference. Their commitment to excellence in the community remains unwavering. For all your construction needs, choose Jarrett Construction, where your vision becomes their mission. Visit jarrett-construction.com. Thank you for making their 25 years successful and impactful. As retirement approaches, are you confident in your financial plan? At 4th Avenue Financial, they specialize in helping you to prepare for this important milestone. Whether you're concerned about income, investments, or leaving a legacy, John Burnett provides personalized strategies to ensure a secure and fulfilling retirement. Don't leave your future to chance. Trust 4th Avenue Financial to help you retire right with confidence. Your financial goals, their expert guidance. Visit them today at 4thavenuefinancial.com.
Securities offered through Jenny B. Cole Financial Incorporated. Member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through Jenny B. Cole Advisors Incorporated.
Nobody does President's Day like Thornhill. Hey, it's Sydney, inviting you to Thornhill Ford Lincoln on the Thornhill Motor Mile, where you can find the best of the best in presidential savings. We're talking Benjamins. New 24 Ford Escape or Bronco Sport, available up to $6,500 off. 24 F-150 STX, up to $8,000 off. 24 Expedition, up to $14,000 off. You want it, and Thornhill has it. Plus, Thornhill's 10-year, 150,000-mile warranty with your new purchase. Visit us online at thornhillford.net and on the road to total savings, US 119 Chapmanville. Qualify for all offers through Ford Motor Credit. See Thornhill for all details.
Six away from 10. Older adults should protect themselves against severe respiratory disease. Talk to your doctor about flu, COVID-19, and RSV vaccines. Risk less, do more. Get started at vaccines.gov, paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. Bigly Piggly Wiggly hotline 304-345-5858. Tony the Taylor text 304-935-5008. Coming up on the show tomorrow, State Auditor J.B. McCuskey will be here, and Brad McElhenney will be on the show as well. Text says, how come all the dumb and questionable stuff MAGA say should never be taken seriously? At what point do we take the dumb and questionable stuff they say as serious representations of them and their ideology? Text says, Dave, I guess trolling is how MAGAs operate the government. Text says, Dave, President Trump will be on Mount Rushmore one day. After saving the, I'm sorry, I had to laugh at that. After saving the U.S. from the devastating policies of the Biden administration, greatest president we have seen in centuries. In centuries, TJ.
He won't be on Mount Rushmore. He'll have his own mountain, people. Come on.
Exactly right.
Come on.
Trump's not going to share the stage with anybody else. Are you kidding me?
It's like rookie hour around
He's
here.
going to go up and he's going to insult, those that are on there. He's going to insult their mothers and talk about
my own mountain.
He's going to buy his own mountain. So no,
come on, think bigger.
Yeah, think biglier. He is not going to. No, he's not going to be on Mount Rushmore. And I said that as a joke, but I could see. Of course, he'll be long dead and gone by then. But I could see, the MAGA folks at that point saying he doesn't need to be up there. He needs his own shrine. He needs his own mountain.
Well, I think engineering trumps politics just like economics does. I'm not sure the engineering of adding another face would work without taking someone off, and I don't know that we're going to take someone off. So.
I wonder what's on the backside. Do you see, if you go to the backside, do you see the legs and arms? I always wonder that. Text says, Spruce Knob is an iconic landmark in West Virginia. The West Virginia legislature introduced House Concurrent Resolution 33, wanting to change the name of this to Trump Mountain. Not only is this a huge waste of time for our citizens and legislators, but it's blasphemy. How do you know it's not going to happen? Because it's not. This is a serious question. If that's a fact, I don't want to waste my time and our legislators' time on this. TJ, do you for 1 minute think this is going to happen?
No.
Okay. Text says, okay, I'll cover that tomorrow. All right. So what's on the big show today, buddy?
So coming up at 10:06, we're going to talk with Michael Brooks. He is a McDowell County Commissioner. He'll join us live from the Area Command Center at the Welch Armory. Welch is completely underwater, or was completely underwater. I think it's receded to some degree. He'll talk about the damage there, what folks are facing, and what the recovery looks like, not only in Welch, but in all of McDowell County. And it's bad.
It's bad. It's extremely bad. I've been kind of monitoring because they still got a lot of friends in that part of the world, and I post a lot of stuff on my social media pages and helped out the news department here as well a little bit with that. Man, it is total devastation. Now, where I'm from originally in Logan County, you have the term usual low-lying areas, and that's not to downplay it, but it's not as bad there as what it is in places like Mullins and, as you said, Welch. And then you get into Mingo County, places like Kermit and Naugatuck. Those areas down there are just absolutely devastated.
Jeff will be on to help us, too. He'll have the exact number, but he was telling me at Yeager, the tug crested above 30 feet. I think the previous record was something about 24, 25 feet. Yeah. So that gives you a sense. And we may not know today. He made the point. We may not know today how much damage we have. The water may not go down quickly enough. So, we could still be doing assessment tomorrow on this. 10:33, vaccines. We'll talk about the Senate bill moving today onto the floor for first reading that would allow religious and philosophical exemptions. I wrote about that over the weekend, 2 commentaries, one of which is posted now at wvmetronews.com. You can get my take there. 11:06, we'll cover Governor Morrissey's press conference on the flooding in southern West Virginia. At 11:33, WVSSAC Executive Director David Price joins us. Recently, the State Board of Education refused to adopt a classification proposal that was put forward. We'll get the story there. And Dave, the WV Scholar Program, the West Virginia Scholar Program, sponsored by Metro News in conjunction with West Virginia Wesleyan, that kicks off. Send a young person to college free. We'll get into that with John Waltz at West Virginia Wesleyan coming up at 11:45.
Final text says, between Team USA giving the Canadian hockey team a long-needed butt-kicking and Trump being cheered at both the Super Bowl and the Daytona 500, it is so awesome to be able to feel proud of this country again.
I did like the beast going around.
As the crowd chanted, USA, USA. All right, we'll be listening, then we'll send you back to the Capitol, I guess, tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I'll be there Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Come see me.
All right, coming up tomorrow again, State Auditor J.B. McCuskey's here. Brad McElhaney will be here as well. Keep an eye on the weather. Roads are slick, folks. They say it's going to get better. I'll believe it when I see it. I'll see you tomorrow. Till then, have fun and love somebody.
WCHS AM 96.5 FM Charleston and 104.5 Cross Lanes, a WVRC media station. We're proud to live here too.